So, hello everybody. I hope you've had a nice and lovely week. It seems like we're ready to start with our game of Never Going Home. So, before we do, I would
My
just
God,
Fuck!
we just got a
What?
big,
Talu!
we got a
Oh.
10,000 bit donation just now.
Fuck!
Talu. Why, thank you.
Tell
Good
it.
goodness.
Good morning!
I need everyone at home to understand that I found out about this bit drop not by looking at the chat, but by seeing Carl's reaction in real time. I'm like, I saw Carl's mouth just open wide and eyes just go like shoot up, and I'm just like, oh, did someone just donate? And I look over, I'm like, holy fuck, Talu.
God
I was
damn!
looking over, I was like, holy shit.
Thank you. Thank you, Talu.
Thank you, Talu. Good morning.
Thank you
Good
so much.
morning.
So,
Thank
copious
you,
amounts
Talu.
of thanks.
Thank you, Talu.
Let's introduce our players. Joining me today, we have a lovely crew, and we've sort of been rotating characters and people in and out, which is kind of what this game is for. So with us today we have Carl.
You caught them
We're waiting.
mid food.
Excellent time.
Carl, what are you doing eating right now? Jeez.
Speaking of, we also have Split.
Yeah, what's up? I have the most watered down vodka you could possibly get.
My condolences. Then we have joining us Upgraded Moon, or Jordan.
Hello. I haven't been in a stream in looks at watch.
You're not wearing a watch.
Hello. I have.
Concussion?
What's that?
Concussion. Coach Corona
Concussion.
says.
I barely
And-
know her.
Last but certainly not least, we have Xander.
So when you think about it, Kronk and John Mulaney have the same voice. Just
We're
different-
doing
Here
this
we
again.
go. Fuck
Yep,
again.
we're
Jesus
fucking doing this again.
Christ.
He said this right before we fucking started.
Think
It was
about
worth repeating.
It was worth repeating.
So, with introductions out of the way, I think we should start with a recap, because this actually is a continuation of the mission that we were in progress with. So, last we left our unit, they were quite unfortunately in charge of escorting a reporter, a member of the press, to a facility that was in charge of some research and development for a new weapon that would turn the tides of the war in favor of the Allies. On the way, they encountered some of the more interesting denizens of the Western Front, denizens that many had not ever seen before. And as they went back, they reported to their commanding officer, they demonstrated the capabilities of the tank, as it's called by its code name, to the reporter. They found that there was trouble afoot. Someone had been messing with the wiring, sabotage. Either things were getting passed to the Germans or something more nefarious was going on. And we left off with our very good second lieutenant, Faulkner, being very persuasive with a rat and asking said rat to keep an eye out for anybody who was fucking with the tank. And
Trench rat bit his dick off.
thank you, Lieutenant. And
welcome.
so we ended off with a scream of pain coming from the sort of hangar warehouse modified area, and here we are.
Gotta be
So-
careful of those dick rats in the trenches. I'll get you. I'll get you good.
So you start off, you have since reported back to your commanding officer. You've told him that you suspected, sabotage, you suspected a spy amidst the ranks, and he basically just exasperatedly said, okay, you guys are new, you guys are mostly new here. I trust you two who've been working with me, pointing to the lieutenant and the lance corporal. Figure out who it is, deal with it. So that is kind of where we are at right now. And yeah, sure enough, a sharp, piercing cry of pain has echoed throughout the barracks. Have at it, boys.
I feel like Graham was definitely awake still because he does that. He's weird like that. I feel like I'm just gonna take some narrative control here. I feel like Harry and Graham are absolutely, neighbors in the barracks.
Totally.
So Second Lieutenant Graham Folknote is just sitting on the edge of his bed, smoking a cigarette in the barracks because why the fuck wouldn't you? And just hears the scream and just slaps, the tip of Harry's foot while he's laying there sleeping, just to rouse him so he can hear the scream as well.
Yeah. What?
Sounds like there's a scream coming over from the tank.
Fuck.
Aye.
All right. Gets up, grabs the rifle.
He also gets up, grabs his service pistol, and I looks at you want to go check out the thing split?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Harry and I will make our way immediately over there.
Okay. You make it towards the main sort of garage area where the tank has been being worked on, or at least one of the prototypes has been being worked on. And you don't see anyone immediately in the vicinity, but the hatch of the tank, the main entrance of it, is open.
Open. I look at Morose.
Who is currently readying his rifle on the hatch.
Yeah, I see you readying your rifle, and I actually just kind of like nod my head in the direction of the hatch, like, go check it out.
Nods.
I pace around the back of the tank while he's doing that, seeing if I can see, because if there's no one in the tank, I want to know if there's like blood or on the ground anywhere that it like leads off anywhere. So I'm pacing around the side, but I'm still keeping my eyes kind of like drifting towards the hatch just to keep an eye on Morose, because if he gets into trouble, I want to go help him.
Okay.
Yep. Just gonna slowly and carefully, finger on the trigger, approach, climb up, look down.
Yeah, there's sort of a little tunk as you climb the side of the tank, and you look down into the sort of darkness that's in there, and there is someone in there. It actually looks like someone who's fairly familiar, and he's sort of clutching a hand to his chest and sort of muttering, cursing under his breath. He sort of looks up at you, sees the rifle, hails, and just, hey there, Morose. What's got you up so late? You recognize this guy as a Lance Corporal Henry Blackfield. He's been working on the project for about as long as you have.
Hey there, Henry. Just heard a scream.
Yeah,
Figured we'd come check it out.
yeah, he sort of shakes his hand out a little bit. Yeah, no, something fucking caught me. You know how it is, odds and ends all poking about. Wrapped my hand real good, I probably fucking broke it.
Faulkner, it kind of like calls out from the rest. He goes, "Is that Blackfield here?"
That would be the one and the same.
Alright. I'm gonna walk over, climb up on the tank as well, and look down the hatch.
Why don't you go ahead and hop on out, soldier?
Yeah, sorry about that. Just hold on for a second. Just, it might be some, we saw some rats in the area earlier, so just, be a little cautious around here.
One of the not rats. And yeah,
Right.
he sort of makes his way out of the tank, and he sort of like parks himself on like the edge of the hatch. He's just sort of sitting down looking at you guys. So everything all right?
I look at Morose.
Yeah, everything's fine. Morose, who still, like, not trained, but still kind of has his rifle aimed, only ever so slightly lowered.
Yeah, Faulkner's doing the exact same thing where it's like he's not actively pointing his pistol, but it's like kind of like lowered down by his hip and a little bit more casually relaxed, but I mean it's still out and ready.
Yeah, definitely, like, ready to do anything.
Yeah. So I
Uh,
mean, what do you do, Noika, this hour, Blackfield?
Heard a noise. Went to investigate.
What noise you hear?
A bump, mostly. Almost like, metal on metal.
Strange.
And you said something caught you.
Yeah, it's, feels like something either got me or poked me or bit me or something.
What are you doing in the tank? You just looking to see if there's a noise in there?
I mean, yes, it seemed
You
where
f-
it came
you-
from. Also, the
you f-
hatch was open.
The hatch was open. Kind of
Yes,
like
sir.
look at Morose, because I look at him in a way that's like the hatch was closed when we left it, right? So it's like we kind of like share that glance and we like nod, like we closed that hatch when we were here earlier. It was open. Strange. And you didn't see anything untoward?
No, sir. Just came out here. Was on guard.
What role can I make to get a read on this guy?
I would want you to make a... To get a read on him, I will ask for an investigation roll. We'll call it a target number 2.
Okay, cool. So, just as a little bit of a refresher here, the way that this works, I spend 1 point to get training, and then I have 0 dice and more points to spend to get dice, yes?
Correct.
Okay, difficulty of 2, that means I need 2 successes?
Yes. And a success
And I
is a 5
succeed
or
on
a 6.
5s or 6.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I have 5 guts. So I'll spend 1 to get training. I'll spend another, obviously, for 1 die, so that brings me down to 3. I'll drop. This is a good question, actually. Because. Well, I need at least 2 dice to succeed. So you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah. So I'm gonna spend. I'm just gonna throw all 4 dice into this pool. I'm gonna do it just because if I only roll 3, and the extra point that bumps up by 1,
Yeah.
I'll just take it. I'll take the full chances. I'll roll it.
Give it a go.
So no additional dice, right? No bonuses.
No bonuses. You would just add whatever
Cool.
additional dice you bought.
Ooh, that's mighty unfortunate. Right, so 0 successes.
Yeah. The Lance Corporal Blackfield just sort of shrugs, and his eyes sort of flick to the rifle.
Of
Morose,
which,
you,
the second he does, Morose kind of like he lowers it entirely and just kind of hooks his arm around it to carry it, and then gestures for Blackfield to come closer.
And
Let me take a look at that hand.
Yeah, and as soon as he does that, as soon as he lowers his rifle, Graham picks up on that and immediately does the exact same kind of gesture of like relaxing it, and just as he moves closer, just gives Blackfield the lightest pat on the back and just said, "Had some trouble with scavengers on the way in, so just want to make sure that all things are a little above board."
Oh,
yeah.
scavengers. Scavengers.
Oh, like nasties eating corpses. You know how
mhm,
things
mhm.
move in after a battle. Hey, yeah, show us your hand, boy. Just want to see that wound. Make sure it's not, gangrenous.
Yeah, you said it might be broken.
Yeah, so he extends his hand, and it looks like, some of the fingers are sort of weak and curled in, and there's just this big bruise blossoming around the knuckles. It's almost like he punched metal or something.
Really?
But it's not bitten.
Well,
It's not bit.
To be fair, Morose, you don't know that I sent a programmed a rat for this.
Morose doesn't know. I'm asking that as the player.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But Graham can tell it does not look like a rat bite then.
No, it does not.
Fascinating. Okay.
Meanwhile, Moreau's gonna, as he's looking it over, he's gonna think about what... You said it seems like he punched something?
Yeah, I mean, considering the sort of clang that was heard earlier, and the yell, and also the state of his hand, it's like he punched, something metal.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
his knuckles look kind of red and shit?
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah.
got like a straight up massive bruise forming across his knuckles.
You should head over to the infirmary and get that looked after.
Hold on. Henry, did you punch something?
Yeah, no, something felt like something got me down there. I tried getting it, but
You
In the
know,
tank.
no luck.
I put up a hand on the at the back of Morose and just kind of like in a very like way that is just like diffusing this right now, but like follow my lead. Saying, oh well, these experimental weapons got all sorts of unsoldered and welded bits still poking and jutting about in there. If you're not careful in the dark, you can snag yourself in one of those nasty corners. I understand it all too well. Well, hey, real quick, would you just I pull out just like because I was carrying like papers and shit earlier. I look at his like wounded hand and go, "My shite, you're right-handed, boy."
Yeah, sure am.
Yeah. Well, make do what you can. Can you just quickly? I'll, get you to the infirmary quick as range, so you can get that tended to before anything bad happens to it, especially out here. Can you just quickly just write in as few words as you can, just like what happened, just so I can pass that along up the chain, so you don't have to do it after you get wrapped up. I understand how annoying it is to write your reports after all this.
Right.
So just
Yeah. No problems at all, Lieutenant. And he'll take the papers or the journal that you have, and he'll sort of I'm sure there's a pencil or a pen somewhere
Yeah,
around. He
I
scrounges
figured
one.
that
He like kind of awkwardly holds it in the pained hand, and writes a basic report of heard noise, went to investigate, hatch and tank open, went inside tank to investigate, felt a pain, tried to lash out at pain, hit hand on,
is
tank wall.
handwriting the same one on the notes we found on the Jerry?
It is not.
Okay, cool. That's what I was looking for. Right. Morose, you take him back to the infirmary. I'm just gonna, seal this up and make sure that nothing is lurking about.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Actually, Morose, real quick, just gotta go back to the post and let the person on watch with me know that he should probably come around and do a bit more rounds, yeah?
Sounds
good.
good. I'll be going with you though.
Yeah, no,
Gotta make
thank
sure
you.
you don't knock any more shit over.
Yeah, right. So, he'll go back around to sort of the, sentry post. There's kind of like a, like the main office sort of area, and people patrol every once in a while. And there is a soldier there waiting for him, and if you wouldn't mind describing your character, please, Jordan.
Ooh.
So I have a character named Marlo Thatch. He is an African American man, standing at about 5'6", but with a wider build. He looks simple. Like he will listen to what you have to say, but that's about it. Don't make him do anything too crazy. But yeah, that's Marlo. He's kind of standing around looking for something to do.
Mood.
No.
Oh man. And really quickly, not to interrupt this wonderful new character, but actually I just wanted to ask really quickly that as they were walking away, did it look like Blackfield may have been like walking with some damage in his pants? Like it's been like, is this a man who just got his junk bit? Like, can I tell that
Dick
like
rats!
from watching
Dick
it?
rats!
Yeah,
Is
it,
Hmm.
speaking as somebody with the equipment, it hurts, and
It hurts.
and
You
don't
know,
recover from
it would be obvious enough that he is walking with a very, very, very slight limp, as though he's trying real hard to not limp.
Dick rats.
Great. And as he's walking away, just real quick, I do want to just quickly just kind of like take a puff from my cigarette and just kind of like finger gesture Morose really quickly and just kind of like hand him my cigarette. Like, yeah, we're just sharing a smoke real quick just because we do this in general. But as I pass the cigarette, I just kind of like whisper to his ear on an exhale, saying, "Have him arrested."
Right. So we're heading back to. For now, we're heading over to the post, so he can make his little report before I take him away.
Yep.
And-
And
Yeah, go back to Jordan's character introduction, please.
Yeah, you both approach the post, and you know, he sort of Blackfield sort of raises his hand, you know, kind of some of the fingers curled in. Thatch, just something happened, not a big deal. Remember that noise?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I had a great encounter with a metal wall, so I will be going to the infirmary, just make a few of the rounds. The second Lieutenant Faulkner, he's back at the, you know, loading bay, so just yeah. And he sort of like cradles his hand a little closer to his chest. Sorry about that, but you know, a few hours, relief will be on the way.
No worries. I'll make some rounds. And
He's a big grumpy man with a thin mustache. Can't miss him.
Grumpy.
okay.
Always.
And he stammers through his words a little bit.
I'm not grumpy.
Sir, you got it. And Marlowe just kind of walks along to Faulkner.
Hey, alright. Faulkner, by the way, who in the interim has just like lowered himself into the tank real quick, and like pulls out his just lighter, just to like, you know, like just light ignites a flame and is using it to like look around, seeing if I can find the spot that where he clearly punched it.
Roll me an investigation, target number 1.
All right, cool. Then in that case, I'm going to spend 3 dice, and then I'll save 1 point for
Yeah.
raising it or lowering it. Why not?
Or re-rolling.
Rerolling. One of those is a 4, so I'll spend my last point to make that to 5.
Perfect. You sort of in the flickering flame of the lighter, you sort of pass it over the different surfaces. God, is it cramped in this thing? What a mess.
Oh yeah.
Looks like spaghetti. But no, there seems to be like maybe something was jarred loose here, kind of amidst the wires and the levers and stuff. It does look like a few of them are bent in a way that suggests like an impact of some kind.
I kind of like hold for a second, look at that, and I just kind of like say, just slightly, a little bit quietly, "You in here, friend? You hiding?"
You okay. With the flame of the lighter out, there's a pause, and a few seconds go by, but they seem very, very long. And you see these two little glints amidst the nest of wires, and it's the two beady black eyes of the trench rat reflecting the lighter flame.
For the record, I am speaking in Gaelic when I'm saying this to the rat. I'm not saying this in English. I'm speaking in Gaelic. Just saying. I look at the rat. I give him a more respectful nod, and I say, "Did you bite?" I know that empathetic communication is available between us. I say, "You bite him."
The rat sort of like cocks its head a little bit, and it makes like a little click with its jaws.
Good lot. I reach out and I give like the rat a slight little single finger scratch on the top of its little, you know, vermin head.
It flattens its ears a little bit. Its fur stands up. It makes another little like click with its jaws as if like, fuck off, stop that.
Chuckle under my breath and just kind of like nod and like light another cigarette in my mouth, and I just say, "Now, was he just?" Again, this is phrased in a way that it might be I'm phrasing it for simplicity. This is being conveyed in game of like how a rat could perceive this, of being like, was he fucking around in here? Was just kind of. And this is empathetic communication. So I can't get like specific answers. I imagine it's more just like affirmations and like vibes. So I'm essentially asking the vibe of like, you know, before you bit him, he was fucking around.
You kind of get this feeling of kind of like confusion and uncertainty.
Sure.
From what you can tell, as far as the rat's concerned, anyone doing anything in here is kind of fucking around. It doesn't really understand, so
yeah, for sure. Usually I feel like animals are really good vibe checkers, so just like got I commanded him to bite somebody. He probably had a weird vibe. I just not. I lower my hand to the ground, just kind of like give a little like whistle for the rat to hop up.
This rat's big, by the way. You probably would need
yeah.
like 2 whole fucking hands to like carry this thing. But yeah, it's sort of
he's a big boy.
after
Oh, no, no,
after
no.
some.
I'm not holding him one hand. It's I'm putting one hand down for him to climb up.
Oh,
and, like,
excellent.
Scurry up the side of my arm and shit.
It still makes your skin crawl a little bit, but yeah, no, it very deftly clambers up the your sleeve and it perches on your shoulder, and this sort of like tail kind of wraps around your neck a little bit.
Alright, I walk back over to the hatch and I kind of like prop myself up a little bit and I just say, "Alright, friend." I kind of like just like say something in like a deep, almost like humming like Gaelic semi-song, and then just ends that with just going, "I release you. Now get out of here and make it quick."
The rat sort of like, it pauses, and from the last sort of flash of emphatic communication, you sort of get the should I bite this asshole? Nah. And then it fucks off. And it's about
kind and friendly to my rat friends.
And it's about at this time
Yeah,
that the other 2 come back. So Thatch and Morose return to the bay.
I quite literally when I just the timing is really good. When I hear them behind me, I very quickly nonchalantly grab my pistol and just like fire it kind of like semi at an angle in the air, and then just follow up by going, "Ah, shite," and then I turn around and go, "Fucking find the rat." Missed it though.
I did want to say, if there could be a moment
Sure. Yeah.
between Morose and Blackfield,
Oh please.
as they're walking,
Oh please.
just because I have thoughts.
Yeah, sure.
when I try
As
to get
you're
some information.
escorting him to the infirmary, you know, you've got plenty of time to have a chat.
And he's making sure, like, he never like fully let go of his rifle the entire time they've been walking. He's kind of kept it tucked under his tucked in his elbow the whole time. As they're walking, he pulls out a cigarette of his own, takes a little drag. So that bump, what did you find? Did you find anything?
Fuck all. I found fuck all, honestly. Wasn't
Fuck all,
worth
you-
climbing down on the bloody thing.
Right, so you got there, the hatch was open, you found fuck all, and something bit you.
Something jabbed me.
Caught you, something
Yeah.
jabbed you. Like, maybe you bumped into some of the machinery, or...
I mean, probably. That would be my best guess. It's all sharp edges in that fucking thing. I mean, you've been down in it.
I have. I have a number of times now, and we just did the demonstration for the reporter person. Yeah, a little while ago. That could have gone better.
Oh, I?
Yeah, something. I don't remember what the private did. Thank God they were there. Never tell any private that I said anything like that. But I think it was some kind of faulty connection, some loose bolts, something like that. I don't know what these engineers are doing anymore.
You know how the damn thing's been going. It's like the whole project's been fucked the entire... Sorry, just, I know we're not supposed to say anything bad about it, but... You've been here. You know how often these fucking things have been breaking down. All the time. It seems like every other day there's some new issue. Which is true, by the way, since you've been working here. The entire tank project has been rough as hell.
How well do I know Blackfield?
I would say you guys are the same rank, so probably, like, well enough.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of that, from what I'm immediately getting, he's someone who has been tired of this for a while.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we all
I
kind of
would,
are.
yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at. It's like, yeah, he is, but also, man, who the fuck isn't? Even your fucking major is tired as fuck about all this. Like, it goes all up and down the line.
Yeah. So as they're walking, is Blackfield following Moreau's? Like, who's technically got the lead in the walk?
If anyone's following anybody, it would probably be Blackfield, like, maybe like a half a step ahead. You both know what the infirmary is.
But yeah, so continuing the conversations. Yeah, no, these damn engineers, they're working on these things every day and every night, and yet nothing. Barely anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a private fix an issue.
Yeah, you know, never send an officer to do a non-comms job, right?
That being said, I'm starting to get some suspicions.
Oh?
I can't say that I'm not.
Hmm.
With
You think
everything going
the,
on.
You think the engineers are fucking it?
I don't know if they are. They seem passionate enough in what they do. I think something's fucking it.
Hmm.
What about you?
I mean, you were there on the Somme, right?
Of course I was.
I don't... think no matter what anyone does, we're all fucked. And he sort of laughs a little bit. But,
Suppose,
you know, gotta find bigger and better ways to kill Jerry, am I right?
Of course. Suppose anyone thinking in that way. Suppose someone finally caved and decided they wanted to be less fucked than the rest of us, eh?
If that's possible. Who knows?
Yeah, if that's possible. And he just lightly jabs his rifle into their back.
It's sort of like swats it away a little bit with his good hand, and by this point you've sort of made it to the infirmary, and the person on duty sort of like looks up from whatever they were messing around with and just sort of grumbles a little bit and sort of ushers Blackfield in to start tending the wound.
Before I think he's going to stop him. I think he's going to stop him right there. In that moment, the second Blackfield like takes a step forward, Moreau's just, I didn't say you could move forward.
Blackfield has this kind of look of like, excuse me?
The second he turns to see him, he sees Moreau's holding his rifle at him again.
Oh shit.
I did not say that you could move forward.
The hell, Morose?
Henry Blackfield, you're under arrest.
For fucking what?
Sabotage.
Sabotage?
Keep your fucking voice down.
He said it pretty loud. It is likely that you all will be encountering some other people throughout the halls, but you know, when you say quiet down, he quiets down and just sabotage. The hell, Morose?
Come the fuck with me.
Yeah, fine, sure. And he doesn't make any protests. He comes with you, sort of mumbling under his breath how this is ridiculous and what the fuck, Morose? I thought we were chill with each other, you know, type stuff. So yeah. I think we should probably.
It's just like, yeah, it's ridiculous. I thought we were too.
I think we should circle back around to Second Lieutenant Faulkner and Private First Class Thatch and see how they're doing.
Yeah, so that's right as I pop out and realize that he's approaching, so I just discharge my gun and make a show of it being like, oh shit, damn thing got away.
And like a turtle, Marlowe's head like drops, but his shoulders like raise up like super high. It's very clear that he's not super used to gunfire. He's just very, very much startled.
Christ, Lieutenant, do you have to fire within the fucking machine?
Sorry.
Were you trying to shoot the rat?
Yeah, it's caught the damn thing that Bat Blackfield just scurried on out. Thought I could get it, but I say it's not what it used to be.
It's a bloody rat. Save your
Fuck
bullets
off.
for the Jerry's.
Fuck off.
So shot was definitely more than enough to wake up pretty much everyone in the entire compound.
Yeah.
So McKinley, you find your way to the rest of your unit, and God, if there's some bullshit going down.
Sorry, he just kind of stands there looking at everything, and then he
I have this thought in my head, this image of just McKinley popping in through the like leaning into the door.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, fellas, what's happening? Is everything okay?
Yeah, he just kind of looks over to Faulkner as he's like, sir, what's going on?
Now look what you've done. You've woke up the boy.
Shite. I say, which is all the sarcasm in my voice. Dealing with a bit of a rat problem. Unfortunately missed. But it's alright. We're fine. We're fine. Oh, McKinley, now that you're away, get the fuck over here.
Right, sir. Of course. He like kind of marches over instinctually. He's like, "What do you need, sir?"
I kind of like whisper, we caught someone poking around the tank, by the way, just so you're up to speed. Thatch, you're new to this conversation. How well do you know Blackfield?
How well do I know Blackfield?
I mean, you know him well enough. He's kind of been in this sort of rotating, set of people who are technically above you since you've been sent to this posting. But it's not like you're personal friends or anything. You know, he was good enough for a guy, you know.
Yeah, Marlowe relays that back and stutters between his T's and his S's.
Right, well, I take it by all the commotion, Morose, that you had a bit of a sloppy time getting him arrested.
I might have.
Yeah, good fucking job.
Listen.
No, I don't blame you. I blame the circumstances. We're all a little tightly strung. Either way, I can't say with any certainty if he is our man, but he meets the prerequisites I was expecting. So therefore, we're just gonna have to see how it goes, or maybe face a court-martial if it doesn't pan out the way we want it to.
Well, either way, he's in custody. I done my job.
It's fine enough. We'll figure it out from there. So, looks Thatch up and down, takes a draw from his cigarette, just blows smoke, not directly in his face, because that's rude. And just kind of goes, alright then, well, since you're up and about as well, you can help us take a look around the place just to make sure your friend didn't fuck with anything around inside, eh?
Yes, sir.
Good lad.
And, like,
I've already peeked around myself. The 30 of you should take a look around, see if you see anything untoward. I'll just hang tight and make sure that if any officers come this way asking what the fuck's going on, I'll try to explain to them that we're not under attack. Yet.
So, if you lot want to take a look around, that would be Morose, McKinley, and Thatch. I would probably want you all to contribute to a challenge roll, and you've got two options. You can either get me 3 successes in mechanics between the 3 of you, or you could get me 4 successes in investigation between the 3 of you. So how this works is that you three talk amongst yourselves to decide between which of the 2 skills you want to try and go for, and then once you're ready, you all make your rolls, and then your successes are tallied up between the lot of you.
So this basically just boils down to, of the 3 of them, deciding whether they want to do smarts or guts as a collective, group. Okay.
I'm gonna be wholly honest with you two. Lance Corporal Morose, as you have just seen, is not the brightest.
Neither is Marlo. Like I don't have a whole lot in the smarts for him.
Well, lucky for you, Charles McKinsley, he does. He's not only trained in mechanics, but he's also trained in investigation. So we might as well go for investigation.
Let's go guts.
All right.
We'll go with yes.
What was that, Jordan?
Yeah, we'll go with guts.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Cool. So I believe I said the target number we're trying to reach between a lot of you is 4 in investigation. So roll your stuff, make your adjustments, and we'll see if that pans out.
All right, I'm gonna use 3 guts points to.
Yeah,
Actually,
Remember, you got to use 1 if you're not trained in the thing
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm doing because I'm not trained in investigation.
So you're giving yourself 2 dice.
Yeah,
Cool. What's your guts score, by the way?
my gut score is 4.
Nice. So
Should
you're
I-
spending 3. So you're spending 3. You're spending 3 guts total.
Yeah, 3
Okay,
guts
and
total.
So for 2 dice, got it.
yeah.
Wow. Hey,
How dare it?
you've got 2
Hey, I mean,
4s in there, so
Do you have any points left or no?
Oh, I used all of them.
Yike.
unfortunate.
At 8. Okay.
Okay, that's
A
fine.
6 and a 1.
Not bad.
You can if you have another point, you can choose to re-roll one of your dice or some of your dice with that point. You would just have to take
could
the
re-roll
new.
the
Yeah,
one,
I'm gonna re-roll one of my dice.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just
so-
re-roll a.
Bummer.
I can
Ah.
roll 3 dice and then still save 1 to re-roll.
Wait, that didn't actually roll
Oh,
anything.
That didn't roll anything.
Just
yeah.
roll a 1d6, dude.
Just roll a
Sorry.
D6.
Yeah, let me
Hey, there we go.
There it is.
Hey!
There it is.
Excellent. So between the 3 of you, you sort of comb through the area, the sort of workshop, and you sort of take stock of what's out of place, what's been altered and changed. You don't find too much in terms of other sort of mechanical acts of sabotage. Not really. You do see that there's a workbench where there were some papers and plans, and it looks like some of the papers have sort of been shuffled around and look a little out of order. It looks like maybe some drawers are open where it doesn't make sense for them to have been opened. But that's... It looks like someone has been fucking around in here, but it's, it's kind of difficult to actually say as to what, just due to the nature of the whole workshop.
So there's nothing like specifically focused on. Everything just kind of rifled through.
Yeah, everything mostly kind of rifled through. I will say the papers being out of order really stands out, because if you know the engineers around here, they're sticklers for order and making sure everything
I'm
is,
gonna give him a read.
yeah.
A look over, just to see what it would be that they were looking for.
Yeah, you don't have any training in mechanics, do you, Morose?
I do not know.
I've got training in mechanics.
Yeah, so Morose, first rifle through, it's a bunch of fucking, like, blueprints and diagrams and mathematical
Private.
shit.
Yeah.
I look over them for you, sir.
Which private? There are 2 of them.
Thatch
The
looks
one
over
that
at
I know
McKinley
can
and-
actually do things.
Oh, burn on Thatch.
I don't know Thatch.
You don't
Thatch
know?
just
I
kind of
know.
like Thatch just like sniffs a bit.
Oh. And you have training in this, McKinley, right? Yeah.
Don't you
This
worry,
is
son, you'll have plenty of opportunity.
this is similar enough to kind of your experience within the tank itself, and also within the papers that you encountered on the corpse of that German soldier, with the sort of diagrams that you saw and the sort of like electrical routing that it looks really similar, not the same, but similar enough. These are absolutely the plans of like the interior workings of the tank and how those systems fit together.
Well,
I hesitate to say, sir, but these look a little bit similar to what we came across on our way here.
you hear that, Lieutenant?
Well, I'm like hopping up to like be near the latch and just being like, right, well, when they ask about what happened with Blackfield, we can say that we suspect him to have been rifling around on the interior. Which, by the way, I already reported earlier that there's espionage in the camp, so I think this is a perfectly just arrest.
No
And
marshalling for us.
no, well, day is still young.
Yet.
The
I
night's
say
young.
yet.
Hey, 30, get out of there. We should start actually talking to the brass about this. Thatch, if you're gonna be standing around like some sort of ghost, you need to do something. It just kind of says like, why don't you go ahead and find what was the name of the guy that I reported to earlier? It was like a commander. What was his name?
Major Evans.
Major Evans. Yeah, I'm gonna say Thatch. Go ahead and do. If he's not already awake, go get Major Evans for us, if you'd be so kind, Thatch.
Okay, I Major Evans. Yes, sir. And he...
No, unless you think I'm talking about Captain Evans or General Evans or Major Evans will do.
Oh, okay.
Picking on the lad.
he goes to find Major Evans.
I turned at Morose. I'm like, literal seconds ago, you called him one who you did not know could do things.
Well, I don't. That's honest. That's not picking on him. That's honest.
I'm going to draw a line in the sand here and say that this is a fundamental disagreement between you as an Englishman and me as a Scotsman.
Ah, I see. So that's the tank you want to die on, eh?
Already gonna die on it, friend.
All right, so we'll leave
There's only one
this
war that
group.
matters.
We'll leave this group to their lines in the sand and disagreements. Thatch, I mean,
Bloody
you've
Scots.
dealt with the major before, if by dealing with the major you mean trying to avoid him at all costs, because if there's one thing you know, it's that you do not want to like fuck with anyone really above the level of lieutenant. So but you know where the major's office is, and
He yells at me sometimes. I don't like it.
you've been in line before while he yells at other people, and that's enough to be like, oh yeah, no thanks, not for me. But you get to Major Evans's office, and by office it's this kind of it's this desk in this larger sort of reception area, because this whole place used to be some kind of a warehouse, so it's not really set up in terms of offices. But a lamp is on, the light has been flicked on. You see Major Evans sort of at his desk nursing what looks like a bit of a migraine, a cigarette, and he's got some coffee, and he looks up and he like pauses and looks at you for a moment as if he's trying to remember who the fuck you are, and then that's
Yes, sir. Marlo, sorry, you already know that. There appears to be a situation. I was sent by one Graham Faulkner, second lieutenant.
Oh. Oh. Oh, that makes so much more sense then. Before any of this, it was your... And he sort of flips through some papers on his desk. You were on watch tonight, yes?
Yes, sir.
Right. Do you have any comments on this whole incident with Blackfield? He was on watch with you.
Well, from what I understood, he walked over to the tank. I didn't quite see what was going on in there, but I heard a yell off in the distance, and then he was brought back here, and I was sent over there. And Faulkner was talking about espionage.
Was he now?
Yes.
Well, alright then. Fine. And you were sent to fetch me, yes?
Yes, sir.
Well, consider myself fetched. And he sort of gets up from his desk and he sort of he takes the mug of coffee with him and just I really hope Faulkner has a good explanation for all of this. I don't like being woken up by shots in the middle of the... He sort of like checks his watch. In the middle of the morning, I guess.
He was trying to shoot a rat.
What is this, a frontline trench? Why bother wasting ammo on a rat?
And Marlo just kind of shrugs. I'm confused as you. Like it's just that kind of shrug that just wordless, but I don't fucking know.
Right.
Just tried to kill a rat with a gun.
He does the turtle thing again, like
yeah. Shoulders go up, head goes down, like ooh, you know.
He takes a swig of coffee. At ease, Private, at ease. Let's go talk to the lieutenant.
He goes at ease, and then as he's walking away, he realizes that he should follow.
I love this boy.
Holy shit, I fucking love him so
I love him. I fucking love him.
oh, he's so precious.
This poor dude who just did not sign up for any of this shit.
Jordan is just like, I'm gonna play the anti-Mason Allen.
Yeah, so he follows the major out.
Yeah, after a little while, and probably this whole debacle as it stands is probably taken the better part of almost, gosh, like 2, maybe 2.5 hours at this point between getting Blackfield and getting the major and doing the investigation. There's been a lot going on, and pretty much most of the base is awake at this point. If they weren't woken up earlier, it's about time for the earliest shifts to be getting awake. And so, sure enough, Major Evans comes into the main sort of hangar warehouse area, the garage area, looking tired as hell, and with Thatch sort of trailing behind him. And before anyone does anything, he sort of like does the little salute off, like, I don't care, Eddie's, whatever. Right, so he sort of gestures. What?
Morose looks over at the lieutenant.
Right, so as you know, I reported earlier, we found a Jerry out in the field containing documents detailing our little operation out here, and we rightfully concluded that there's a mole in our midst. I caught Blackfield poking around the tank at an odd hour. Seems to have, as my boys here may have noticed, looks like someone was rifling around the place, looking through documents, And you know how the boys on an engineering like to keep that ship real tidy, as it were. The drawers were open, papers were out, and Blackfield's the only one who's been near that tank tonight, and we definitely did not leave a mess when we left it without a report earlier. So, I think rightfully we assumed that he is suspicious of being the mole and simply just wanted to get him into custody before he could pass any words off to his Jerry friends.
All right.
Well, he said.
You're very word.
Yes. Thank you. Right. Well, good job on that. And thank you for your he looks the group up and down, your diligence in the matter. Now, and he sort of like pauses and he sets down what's left of his coffee on one of the tables and sort of kind of looks behind him in the hall. There are a few soldiers who are sort of like getting back to like their morning stations, and he sort of looks at them and he says, "Oi, fuck off." And they fuck off, and once you all are alone, he sort of runs a hand through his hair and sort of leans heavily against the table. So, first off, I don't doubt that what you said is most likely what has gone on. However, there was a bit of a kerfuffle last night in the middle of all this. Shot for one. There was
Sorry about
right, there was a yell for another. And you were so kind, Morose, as I was later informed, to escort Blackfield into custody. So,
Well, I did.
we have a bit of a secondary problem on our hands. A good friend, Marlon Pierce, the civvy, the reporter.
The reporter.
Yes, well, he also seemed to have been awoken by the hubbub last night, and I was reported to that he was speaking, with people, getting information. He heard the cry of sabotage, apparently. He's spoken to Blackfield. Now, I'm sure you all know...
They let him speak to Blackfield? Of course they let him speak to fucking Henry.
Yeah.
Fucking reporters.
Fucking reporters. So, as I'm sure you all understand, this is a problem. And
guys.
I don't think that whatever information or notes or reports that Mr. Pierce is going to make on this operation would be... Then he sort of like straightens his shoulders. Reflective of the war effort and whatever, all that. Basically, from what I can tell, you ought to be trusted. Deal with Pierce in whatever way you see fit. I don't want to know about it. Deal with him. Understood?
Understood.
Loud and clear, Major Evans.
A bit of confusion strikes Marlowe's face as he kind of like looks to the other soldiers.
Just
To him.
elbow shoves him.
Looks back down. Just salutes and looks
Right.
back down.
Eddie's men, I'll go deal with Blackfield, and you figure out between yourselves what to do. Alright, so we've made it to our last leg of the journey for this
boy.
mission. So you have been told that, Marlon Pierce, poor reporter man, needs to be dealt with. Now, this journey is going to be a little different. First off, we require 3 of the same suit to be contributed, but it's a little different than normal, depending on the majority suit of the cards you put in. There will be different resolutions. So, first off,
Okay.
I want all of you to go ahead, drag a card from
Can
your
we
hand.
put up the thank you, yes, because I just wanted
Yeah,
to
I
look
gotcha.
at the thank you. I was want to see this legend again so I could look at the suites again.
Yeah.
we're just playing a card from our hand.
Yeah. Throw out a card, and actually, keep in mind what card that you keep in mind what card you're going to use for the journey, because I will then ask you all to draw an additional card. You will then be able to choose between the two cards which one you would like to pick. So everyone keep in mind what card you're going to use, then draw an additional card, and be sure to keep whatever that one is in mind as well. And once you all have that done, let me know.
Do we want to try to do our little hints again, or are we just gonna go blind?
Wait for it. I will give you
Yeah.
a little more information.
Yeah, I've decided what card I'm gonna play, and I've picked a new card. I've drawn a card from the deck as well.
Okay. So in this case, the suits are... they all represent a different way or method of dealing with Pierce. So clubs would be to eliminate him. Quickly, quietly, he can't be allowed to live. Hearts would be to escort him back. You know, command has ideas, and they're not always correct. The truth needs to be told. He'll get back safely, and the public will know. To keep the secret is a disservice. Spades is to destroy his notes, his photographs, his, personal belongings. That way he wouldn't have, presumably wouldn't have enough evidence to make any reports. And diamonds is... well, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to not be the most fucked out of everyone here. Maybe it wouldn't be the worst idea to make sure that machines of death didn't necessarily get on the battlefield and have a second Somme, a second tear. So,
Interesting.
with those in mind, everyone make your choice of which of the two cards you picked you would like to play. And drag them out. And to keep in mind, we are looking to have 3 of the same suit. So please...
Can you remind me, by the way, of that, which, in the card hierarchy, I guess, like in the numbering system, like, do numbers come into play with these cards again?
I will let you know if numbers come into play. Generally, in things like the journey, the higher the value of the cards, like base cards, aces are high, the more, like, intense whatever it's representative of is,
Gotcha.
But that's not necessarily, like, a mechanical
Gotcha,
influence.
just curious. Alright, I played my card.
So, yeah, feel free to speak amongst yourselves. You can't tell anybody else what the card you're playing is, though.
Faulkner's opinion on this, by the way, is just that we're not just gonna walk him back to civilization and report on what's been happening here. Morose and I know that there are things going on here that are better left secret to the public, but I don't advocate killing the man. I think we should just tend to him another way.
I pulled out the wrong card. I tried to put it back. Do you know?
Do you have me which one it was?
Yeah. Let me.
I'll get it back to you.
Also, sorry. So I know what the clubs, hearts, and diamonds stood for. What was spades again?
Spades is destroy all of his like photos and notes and stuff, so he doesn't have any evidence or documents to report with. Just essentially cover up the thing.
And we need one of each suit, right?
You need 3 of the same suit.
Of the
Three
same
of
suit.
the same suit. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I firmly believe we should see him safely back to the mainland, but make sure nobody ever finds out what happens here.
I quite agree. He doesn't seem like too troublesome of a person. You know, I don't think he would deserve you know being offed like that. It wouldn't be. It doesn't sit right with me.
Morose takes a long drag of his cigarette, lets it out. We have our orders. that information will not spread.
Even if the evidence is destroyed, he could still talk about it once he gets back.
You're green around the edges, boy. Papers don't publish without something to back them up, and if they don't, well, then they're just tabloids.
And I've come from a place that gossip has a lot of power.
Great. I'm sure you do, lad, but it's not gonna make a fuck all's worth of difference in his line of work. Rumors can spread, but not facts. We don't need everyone believing it.
And he just kind of nods and understands.
Sorry.
Mm.
After we played our cards, how many do we draw? Just one?
So you were to pick the card that you were going to use, and then you're going to draw an additional card. Then you choose between those two which one you want to actually play, and then you get rid of the one you didn't use.
Oh, so I accidentally played two. I didn't draw anything.
Oh. Then somebody didn't play a card then? Because I have 4 cards.
I took mine back.
Okay,
I had
Carl...
mine on the table, but I just took it back because
Okay, Carl, tell me which one of the cards you would like to take back, and I will get rid of it for you, and then I'll take Split's card.
Yep.
Okay, just gonna do
I just put mine back on the table.
Right.
And my answer doesn't change.
Okay.
Just so the rest know.
All right. And I think it was one of these. All right, let's see. Okay. Will do then. There you go, Carl. You can have that back. Now, you all sort of talked about what the question was already. So, since you all had your discussion, I'm going to resolve it, so to speak. We did meet the requirement for 3 cards of the same suits, and I'll just go down and show you what they were. So the first card we have is a Queen of Spades. The second card we have is a King of Clubs. So that's 1 kill and 1
vote
destroy
for
some
murder.
notes. The second card we have is a 10 of Spades. And then I already, sort of gave up the ghost on that one. The last one we have is an 8 of Spades. So, it looks like consensus is you deal with him by getting rid of his notes and making sure that at least doesn't spread. No evidence.
Right. Then we raise his papers.
Yep. Oh, I totally light them with my cigarette. Like, that's 100% thing I'm gonna do. Like, we'll get them all in a big old fucking little pile and just flick my cigarette on them. And this is 1920s, like, film. That stuff is... That's like 19... It's not even 1920s. That's not even 1920s. This is like, this shit is, like, so quickly flammable. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, like, yeah, that shit burns.
Everything's a fire hazard in the 1920s.
Everything's a fire hazard.
1910s.
1910s, yes.
So how do you go about this? You just meet back up with Pierce and just forcibly take his stuff? Or, like, what do you guys do?
Basically, I think...
Yeah.
Yeah. I say basically, I think we show up at where he is staying. Is that like a... Does he have like his own little...
He would have been staying in... There are like some smaller separate rooms for when people of, higher rank come visit. He's been given one of those rooms, and you would know where it is. You would have escorted him to it last night.
Basically we are on the walk there. I am smoking Morose flanking me, and then I got Thatch at our rear carrying 2 cans of gasoline.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, I'm all fucking here for it.
And I tell I'm telling Private McKinley to watch the door. And I also, every other soldier we pass in the hallway, I'm just like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Any soldier sees this procession, sees the
Get
cans
your
of gasoline,
fucking
fucks
trousers
off.
on. Get your fucking trousers on, tie your belt, and get the fuck out of my way. And
Right,
then
yes, sir.
Morose, gonna gesture Morose, Thatch, and I push open the door to the reporter's
before you
room.
do.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Morose just puts a hand on his shoulder, on the left hand shoulder. And before we do this, are we going to do it the, how should I say this, the fun way?
Not your fun way, my friend.
That's not what I mean.
We're gonna do this clean, professional, and if he tries to do anything, I want you to push him the fuck back onto his bed and make sure he doesn't do anything he's gonna regret down the line. But try to avoid giving the boy any marks he's gonna keep with him for the rest of his life.
No promises. You know how I do.
I push open the door.
Yeah, Pierce is there's kind of a very small writing desk, and it looks like he's got like a few books strewn about it, and it looks like he's writing something in longhand, but then also writing something down on what looks like sort of like almost as if he's about to write like a telegraph of some kind. And you open the door and he sort of looks up and, Lieutenant, Lance Corporal, and he sort of cranes his neck a little bit to look at Thatch.
We don't
Private.
we don't stop in the doorway. We continue walking in, and just I gesture for Morose to just pull him out of his chair and get him away from the desk. Not like
That's
too
like-
harshly, just move him. Yeah.
That's
Whoa.
like uses his foot to close the door, like on the way in.
Morose comes over and just hands on either side of his arms, just, all right, let's make this easy now, and
What?
picks him up.
Yeah, he doesn't really struggle or anything, but he looks scared. He looks really scared. Did something happen? Is everything all right? Do we need to go?
Well,
I
I
heard-
gesture with
Hold
my
on.
hand, just like move him away just from the desk for a second.
he, whilst pulling him back toward like the other end of the room, just, nothing's happening yet. We're trying to make sure of that for the good of our country.
Right. Yes, of
and
course. I
I'm
heard sabotage.
I'm looking at what he was just writing.
Okay. So what Pierce was writing, it doesn't go into super amounts of specifics, but it is kind of along the lines of, we are doing our best. We have this incredible technology that will turn the tide of the war. However, there are things happening and things going on that maybe are even, greater than we would have thought in terms of the strength of the German Empire and that sort of thing. And I mean, he's not wrong, but
No, he's not. No, I see that, and I specifically pick up that piece of paper, and I have I shake my mouth, and I just kind of like look down at the paper, look up at him, and I just kind of like sadly shake my head a little bit, and I said,
I can edit
"Thought we
it. I
had
can
an
change it.
I thought we made an understanding on the walk here that we were not going to talk about things the public did not need to know."
Those are my
And
notes, Lieutenant. There's not an article.
You fucking talked to Blackfield last night, did you, nay?
Yes, I did. Why shouldn't I have?
Without asking anyone first.
Well, I asked the people on guard, and they didn't exactly stop me.
Well, you should have asked me. You should have asked the chain of command, because you've rightly pissed some folks off just now.
He still looks
What did-
scared, but his shoulders
what
square
did
a
you
little
talk-
bit.
What did you talk to him about? What did he tell you?
I asked him what the commotion was about, because I heard the cry of sabotage. I heard sabotage last night, and I was writing, so I went to go figure out what it was. And he told me that there had been, I guess, suspicions, is what he said, of some kind of sabotage from the Bosch. And, he was pretty mum about everything else, but judging by the fact that he was in custody, well.
What's he wearing, by the way? Has he got like a waistcoat on or something? Like,
Yeah, he's wearing like a general sort of it's not exactly really nice clothing, but it's at least like weather appropriate,
sure.
thank God.
Yeah, for sure. Well, then cigarette in mouth, reach both hands onto the edge of the paper and just begin to like lightly tear it to rip off everything that's below, turn the tide of the war. So I cut out the however. I just tear that right off, and then does he have like a waistbin near his desk?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I drop the other half into the waistbin. I just begin going through all of the shit he has in here to dump photos, documents, everything that is not pertinent to just like anything extra. Like we're gonna obviously the photo of the tank, I think I'm gonna keep. But anything else?
We look good in that.
Yeah, we look fucking good in that. I want to see that. I want to see that published. And dumping it in the waistbin, and I'm gesturing for Thatch to give it a good old splash in the waistbin.
Thatch nods, just kind of like dumps the gasoline in there, just like a bit. Give it like a little extra, just in case.
And I walk over to our little reporter friend here, like real close. Just like there's like 2 inches between us, and he
feels Morose's grip just tighten as the lieutenant approaches.
I delicately.
Pierce no longer looks scared. He looks resolute, and a muscle in his jaw sort of twitches, but it looks like he's kind of accepted what's going on here. And he meets your gaze.
I fold up the piece of paper, stick it in his shirt pocket, and just kind of no. What you're thinking is, this is censorship. This is unjust. We are silencing the truth of the situation. And you're right, we are. But I need not to remind you what you saw out there on the field, and what I suspect as a civilian you're going to continue to see for the rest of your life every time you close your eyes. Now that's certainly the least of what's out there. I don't give a fuck about the chain of the command telling me that we need to keep this hush-hush. Frankly speaking, I think Major Evans is a bit of a gobshite. That being said, I told you on the field, no one innocent deserves to know what's going on out here. And nobody here is innocent. But others out there, they are. So you write your story. You publish what you have. And, well, quite honestly speaking, feel like the brass wanted us to kill you. We're not going to do that, by the way. We're going to send you back to the mainland. Wherever your island, wherever the fuck you're from. And moreover, publish your story. Tell everybody what we did here. No one's gonna come after you. At least not. I'm not gonna come after you. Just who will believe you? And more importantly, kind of like take a draw from my cigarette. More importantly, even if you told everybody and they believed you, how long until someone out there, now knowing the truth of the situation, decides to profit off of it and makes it all the more worse because of you? I flick my cigarette into the trash bin.
He doesn't flinch, he doesn't blink as the notes and the film and the photos go up in flame, and you see just this very shallow nod and just I suppose we all give up innocence as soon as boots touch land, huh? Right?
No,
Thank you,
my
gentlemen.
boy. No, my boy. I just chuckle myself and I nod and I gesture Thatch to let it burn down. Like,
He backs off from it, lets it happen.
I walk out of the room.
Morose loosens and then kind of turns Pierce to him, lightly brushes off the poor reporter. Now, I know this is a lot, hand on shoulder, but you have to think of the good of the people.
He sort of takes his hand, puts it over your hand on his shoulder, and he slowly lifts it off. Yes, thank you, Lance Corporal. I very much understand. You've been a pleasure to work with.
Right. And just one last brush against his shirt or waistcoat or whatever. Just so you know, it was my vote to kill you. And he walks
Like I
out.
said, a pleasure.
When Morose walks out, I'm back in the hallway lighting a cigarette again, and I just nod to McKinley and just say, "Nobody gave you any trouble, did you?"
No, sir, nobody. They
Right.
scampered the moment you told them to.
Right. You like barbecue?
Yes, my dad used to make a lot. Like,
Great. Go grab the smoldering trash can.
Right, sir. Of course, sir. He looks so confused, but he kind of, like, the moment he walks in and he looks at the face of the reporter, he kind of...
Yeah, Pierce is like sitting on the bed, sort of like head in hands. He sort of looks up at you a little bit, doesn't say anything as you take the can, just sort of McKinley, and then ignores you.
Thatch, still with the gas cans in his hands, just kind of looks at the reporter, bends down just a little. If you write about me, can you mention that I'm 5'8"? And he stands back up, and then he walks out the door.
You, Thatch, as you're the last one to leave, as you close the door behind you, you just hear this like whisper, "Fuck off."
Thatch
So,
gets a fucking chuckle. He gets a chuckle out of it. He walks out the door.
Right.
He gets a little laugh.
I wanna ask the DM when fucking Faulkner went, right, go get the can, and I just fucking burst it out. I really like the idea that Morose's horrible cackle just echoed throughout the entire hall system.
Oh my god.
Hey, guys,
everyone
this
was
is
told to
really
fuck
fucked up
off,
of
so
us. This is really
Yeah.
fucked up of us.
We're fucked up people.
sure
I'm
is.
glad that we're doing this.
So,
Great.
congratulations.
And feels bad.
Congratulations on having completed the mission, by the way, as your
Woo.
reward for doing so.
Woo.
You
Oh,
all
so
get to...
Oh no, I want to do something really quickly, but you can finish if you'd like to.
As your reward for completing the mission, you get to draw 2 cards and choose one to keep. The one you don't want to keep, drag it out onto the board, and I will take care of it for you.
Love that.
2
Oh.
cards. Huh.
Remind me, what significance do aces have, by the way? Is there significance in this system? No.
Aces are high, so in cases where you need a high card, like when it comes to initiative,
Gotcha.
for example, or
Gotcha.
when it comes to like character advancement, if you have like all face cards plus aces, then it's easier to advance, stuff like that.
Gotcha. I will...
Fuck that card.
So
Fuck the
while we
card.
take care of
That's
that,
right.
I think we are going to take our break. So
Great.
we'll be back in about 15 minutes, and we'll see what happens with, you know, the unit on their next assignment. So we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us throughout the break. And our intrepid unit, well, I mean, they're soldiers, and a soldier's work is never done. So naturally, they may have resolved the whole, well, quote unquote, resolved the whole issue with the tanks and the espionage and the reporter. There's always more work to be done. So you lot have been given an assignment, since it's kind of been strongly hinted for you to make yourselves scarce after this debacle. The engineers have been sort of whipping up this kind of an advanced sort of gas mask in response to a request that was sent in from one of the frontline areas nearby. They needed something more advanced, something with higher amounts of filtration, so they've asked you lot to go and help deliver this shipment and see what the hell is going on that would make them request that sort of thing.
Oh, fuck.
Oh boy.
All right, masks on the entire time. The entire time.
Entire time.
Masks on when we're out of this camp. A few miles out. How long is it going to take us to get there?
It's not going to take all too long. You're really not all that far away from the front. That was kind of the point of this place. It was close enough that in a pinch things could be deployed rather quickly. So it won't take all too long for you to get to the area that requested
Rough
the
estimate?
camp. Rough estimate. Oh gosh, just miles, probably like maybe like
30
By-
minutes.
I'd say like a couple hours, like if you're walking pretty briskly, but you could probably catch a ride and get there sooner.
Yeah, alright. Masks on 20 minutes out.
Right.
Breathe the fresh air while you can.
Set your watches.
So Thatch, you're American.
Yes, sir. I'm from New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's what, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
You enlist?
No, I was drafted.
That's
Unfortunate.
unfortunate indeed. Well, welcome to Europe.
Nice. Thatch looks around. Is there grass in the area that we are?
You're far enough away from the front lines that there's grass. There are flat, rolling fields of the French countryside.
A lot of
It's not what you saw in postcards, was it?
no, no, not quite. Sorry.
Yeah, no French ladies daintily standing in the wind of a field around here. So if you're drafted, how old are you, boy?
I turned 24 this year, sir.
Oh, alright. So you are a man.
And he chuckles to that. Also unsure.
Good.
Don't quite feel like it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
Yeah, well then-
McKinley's
Mm.
face kind of burns red at the comment, but he doesn't say anything.
So, This is absolutely in the cantina before the mission.
Oh yeah.
And I only say that because I am eating right now.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Morose here is one of those, well, he's an English bastard.
Making your
And-
comments again, I see.
McKinley is also from America and is with the American Army, but was actually born in Queens.
Really?
Queens, England, not Queens, Brooklyn. Or, sorry, Queens, New York.
Ah, right.
Actually, funny enough, we moved from Queens to Queens.
How's the
Fuck me.
how's the city? Is it big?
It's he's like chewing on this just like a twig to keep, just to keep himself
piece of
occupied a
wood.
little bit. It's just like it's he takes it out. It's quite big, yeah.
I've only seen pictures and postcards and drawings, but it always looked nice.
They got good fucking food out in New Orleans.
Oh no, they do. You should come by sometime. My mama can make like the absolute best gumbo that I've ever had in my entire life.
Now, hold on, wait. I actually have an American from New Orleans here to answer this. Tell me, boy, what the fuck is gumbo?
Thank God someone asked it.
Hey, it sounds like gumbo sounds like a trench disease.
Can
It's
you handle
like,
spicy
oh,
food?
it's like Private McMahon got a case of gumbo in his right knee after being shot. Like, you understand what I'm saying here?
Marlo like snorts and like laughs at that shit. Like when Marlo laughs, like his shoulders kind of scrunch forward and like he brings like a bald fist up to like the under of his nose, and he just like.
Oh, I love him. He's so gonna
it's
die.
awful. Like that laugh
He's
is
so about to
Shut up!
die.
Shut up! Don't say that. I mean, you're right, but hey.
So, gumbo.
Yeah, gumbo. Tell me about gumbo.
Well, for starters, can you handle spicy food? Anything with a bite?
I can handle anything, son.
Well, he's English, so don't trust his word on that. They have the taste buds of made of sand.
Yeah, and you can
Meh.
continue to go fuck yourself.
And I will continue to do so. I, on the other hand, am a Scotsman, and while our palate might be a little bit more on the steamy side, I'm not particularly accustomed to spicy foods. Then again, I've been rigorously fucked by other countries my entire life, so I'm really down for anything.
You've at least got that in common with India, right?
All right. Oh yeah. There was a, I haven't spent much time. Definitely, I've had Indian food before, and bonded with them over our shared commiseration. But yeah, gumbo. So it's spicy.
At least the one we make does. Yeah, it's spicy. My mama don't like it when I call it soup, but it's basically a soup.
Okay, so it's like a spicy soup.
You got a lot of veggies in it. We like to throw clams and maybe some scallops in there too.
Right, because you fish. You got all the whole fish down there, right?
Yeah, a
A
lot
nice
of flour,
fish
too.
stew.
Well, hold on now. When you say fish stew, I think of something extremely different than what you're thinking of.
I'm
Like
sure
my
you do.
fish stew is tepid broth that has been thrown in with some haddock, maybe a trout if I'm lucky. And it's not particularly nice. That sounds pretty fucking good, not gonna lie.
It's nice. It's comforting. You can take it anywhere with you. It feels like a taste of home.
You guys like shrimp, right? You got a lot of shrimp out there?
Oh, absolutely.
Like prawns? Okay.
We throw some of those in too if we can get them.
Spicy. I like that. Well, sounds like you got good taste, Thatch.
I'll take my liberty as a narrator. At this point, you all have
Please do.
been traveling. You managed to hitch a ride on one of the army transports. And at this point, it comes up to a stop, and the driver sort of calls out. It's sort of like an open cab type thing. All right, this is where you get off.
At 8. On
Aid
foot,
station's up.
boys.
Aid station's up the road.
Will do.
Good luck.
All right.
And
Masks on, boys.
Thatch puts on the mask, kind of like, just kind of like works with that smell a little bit, and yeah.
so
I actually walk over to Thatch and like adjust the straps a little bit on his mask, a little bit, just tighten up a little bit, and give him a little pat on the face, and says, "Make sure they're tight. Don't want to go ruin your ability to smell that good fucking food." And yeah. All right.
So
Let's
y'all
go.
got dropped off at a crossroads, and sure enough, the lorry driver was correct. It was just a little bit of a hike, and after some time, you get to the aid station. But before you get to the aid station, you do hear the distant firing of shells, of guns, of artillery, and for you, Thatch, and for you, McKinley, this is probably the first time that you've encountered the sounds of a barrage, even if it's farther away. And what strikes you about it is that it doesn't stop. It never stops. It seems to just keep going and going, like a sort of thunder on the horizon. But anyway, you
Ghost, readies his rifle and keeps his eyes on the horizon. You never know when there's a stray.
Hey. It'll do you one good to just kind of let it be in your periphery. Think of it like a thunderstorm. You know, it's just it'll help you focus. Just a thunderstorm of mud, blood, and metal.
Comforting, Lieutenant.
You know, I worked in a hospice briefly.
Did you?
How'd that
That's
go?
a story you haven't told me yet.
Well, I cleaned the toilets. It wasn't that great. Anyway.
Alright. So, the aid station, thankfully, is behind front lines as an aid station should be. You know, there is still a network of trenches that sort of leads up to the most forward positions, but you're far enough behind that generally you're not going to get any artillery falling on your heads. So, with the shipment of the special masks, the advanced masks in tow, you go to find out what the fuck is going on. And the commanding officer, well, it seems like this is the commanding officer of this place. I don't know. It's a certain, a private sort of informs you, it's a Captain Rosenthal. And you, sure enough, you find him in a command tent, and he looks a little beside himself, but he sees you all come in, and he sort of snaps a bit to more of an attention, and just, Yes, right, at ease, thank you very much. Who are you lot?
Second Lieutenant Graham Faulkner, this is, my posse. We've got your shipment from the base. The masks.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And, I trust that you have been briefed about the situation?
All we've been told is that there's something fucky going on here that you need new masks for, and we're also here to check that out.
Excellent.
That's a no if you haven't got the translation.
I'm a roundabout speaker.
Morose, as you sort of speak up, you just see the captain's eyes narrow a little bit. This is not the type of man who does very well with insubordination. So, just letting you know about that. But he sort of, despite that, he sort of nods and just, well, there has been an incident. A shell was dropped on a stretch of the front line, and there's been a rather... It seems like an advanced sort of either gas, chemical, or something like that. We are doing our best to investigate and nullify the source. However, it's been a few days. So, naturally, asking for the masks with the advanced filtration systems, and also, well, any sort of, he looks you all up and down. free agents and posses to look into the matter. So, if that will be all, please feel free to go on ahead at your leisure. The way to the afflicted area, well, first off, you'll be able to see it on the horizon. You can't miss the yellow haze, but just head east and take the square up towards Newmarket, and you'll be there soon enough. They're posted, don't worry. And he just misses you. And that's it.
Nice.
So
They make their way out. Harry waits till they're a few steps away from the area and just goes, "What a fucking jackoff."
Go easy on him. He's definitely got something stuck up his arse. So yet to determine what make and caliber it is, though. Right, so guess we're gonna need to go take a look at a gas leak.
something like that. So we're going to start in a lot earlier this time with our journey. So what I require is all black cards, at least one spade, and one club.
Sure.
Got it.
So
Do we draw a card or no?
No, you do not draw a
Okay,
card.
cool. So no,
You
so
draw
we
from
just
your
play.
existing bank. Yep.
Gotcha. Can do. Will do. Did.
There it is. Look at that.
Woohoo!
All right. Let me just take all those off your hand.
Me instantly forgets what my suit
That's,
was for a second.
Don't worry about it. It's quite all right. So
Oh,
let
fuck.
me
Oh fuck.
You fucked us.
worry not.
You fucked us, Thatch.
I know what color I had. Shit.
So I want Xander.
I pray that you match.
So the way the journey works normally is you throw in your cards and then you get them back, and based on the suit that you have, you sort of narrate the answer to either a question or a situation or something like that. And in this case, the question is, what have your experiences been with chemical attacks? What is your plan to keep safe and keep from succumbing to whatever it is that's up ahead? So, Xander, if you wouldn't mind letting us know what card you have to resolve.
Yeah. Should I say the card?
Yep.
Yeah, I played the ace of.
Oh,
spades.
sorry. I put one out to you. I shuffled them and I re-put them out to you. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't picked up that one yet. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so just grab that and tell us what it
Gotcha.
is.
So that's not the card I have. So I played that card. So congratulations, someone has a card. No. Okay, cool. So do I say what card I have or no?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, 6 of clubs. Which is a things card, so it's action, adventure, overcoming obstacles. Oh, I've been in a gas attack. I've absolutely. Graham Faulkner has fought in the. He's been in battles, like a couple of battles by now. He has definitely actually encountered moments of like getting shelled by gas, but specifically, wasn't just I survived through it. It was a case of like I survived through it and also escorted like a lot of my fellow soldiers out of the gas attack. So he actually. Because it's like things like an overcoming adventure, overcoming obstacles, action, that kind of thing. It was like, yeah, it was a lot of like daring, moves by him to get out of there as quickly and efficiently as possible, like jumping over, things in the way, but also like dragging and grabbing just like people out of the gas as well. I have no wounds from gas attacks. I have been blessed to have had a good mask. But I have first-hand experience with gas.
All right. Thank you, Second Lieutenant Faulkner. So, the next person. Split. How about you resolve this one?
Right. Let us take. Right. See now, I figured I was gonna get this. Knowledge, learning, growing, overcoming suffering. Safe to say, I've not exactly directly attacked, but I've been near it. I've seen a squad go down a trench, go down away, and suddenly a cloud of fog fill that area. All of us frantically putting on our masks, and those who went in coughing and shouting and coming out. Nearly dead. I know what I can do. And I know roughly the safe distance you can be to something like that. And I know when you see it, you get the fuck away.
Good thing you're going right into it, huh, Lance Corporal? Thank you.
Thanks for reminding me.
All right. Carl, if you wouldn't mind resolving this one.
I may have zoned out for a second. I might need a reminder what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure.
I'm so sorry.
You're
First of all,
resolving
pick the card off the table.
Yeah. You're resolving that journey card, and the question that you're answering, in according to the suit, is what have your experiences been with chemical attacks, and how will you keep from succumbing to them, or to this one at least?
Hey, Private McKinley had some training, some special training back when he was still, still in like the U.S. Army, and he remembers one of the courses was how to handle chemical attacks, and so he just kind of follows by the book, which may not be the best thing in a real situation, but he tries his best.
Thank you, McKinley.
So,
always doing
yeah.
his best. All right. In that case, Jordan, if you wouldn't mind resolving this card.
All right. I got the Ace of Spades.
All right.
One of my biggest fears is dying in some of that gas. I've only seen it once before, but I wasn't close enough to be affected by it. I just saw that cloud of smoke on the hillside. It was horrific, terrifying. I ain't never seen anything like that before. I wish I knew what to do, but I worry the second that I get into that situation, I'll buckle. I haven't the foggiest fucking idea.
Wow. Maybe you'll have beginner's luck. Hopefully, Thatch.
Oh, I hope.
All right. And if you all will drag those cards out onto the table, I will get rid of them for you.
There you go, voice in the sky.
You are quite welcome. I think I might be missing one. Nah, I'm good. So, all right. So, luckily, you all did indeed succeed in the journey. So that means, well, you might be a little better off than you would have been otherwise. So,
Whoa.
before you before you set out, before you get kitted out with your masks and head out towards the front line trenches, you actually get stopped by another man, another captain, actually. Kind of weird. It's not too usual to have two captains in really the same posting, at least not a small one like this. This man is very harried looking, and he wears this sort of white smock with flecks of dried brown on it, and he hails you all and just, well, you all going in there, yeah?
Hey.
Come in here first. And he sort of like gestures his head towards a tent that's set up, a pretty large one. And as you enter, it is it's an operating tent. This is, after all, supposedly a first an aid station, and this looks like what would be the commanding officer.
Right. Who are we addressing?
Right. Captain Newkirk, at your service. Yes, at ease. Thank you, gentlemen. You're being sent into all that, yeah?
That we are.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, the Rosenthal tell you anything?
Told us that, it's about a week? Someone said about a week? Either way, you got some sort of new gas on the field, something that dropped here. Don't know much beyond that, so we're actually keen on finding out some information.
Well, I'm glad I caught you then, because, no, it's been a week, and if, any of you know, and I'm sure you all know, gas doesn't last a fucking week. And you're also not the first ones to be sent in there by Rosenthal, of all people.
We're not?
No, you're not. You're probably, the third group, maybe? You're the first that's come in here from the outside, and the first with, new masks and all that, but no. You're not the first
Any
group.
of those previous groups come back out?
One.
Really? Where are they?
Sorry, one person from one of them.
Really? Where is he?
Yeah, this way. He's, not doing too well. Still alive, at least. Better off than some of the boys, but, here we go. And, Newkirk will lead you kind of towards, out of, like, the sort of main, sort of triage tent and towards, like, a smaller one that's more of, like, a recovery post-op sort of thing. And, lying, there's, like, an old, army cot, uncomfortable as all hell type sort of thing, and there's a soldier, lying on it, sort of actually a pretty decent enough rank, by the insignia. He's a corporal, and he sort of like weakly props himself up on one elbow as you all come in, and Newkirk sort of, right, how you doing, Oliver? And the soldier sort of like slowly nods and lifts a hand as like a little sort of a wavy type thing. Newkirk nods. Well, right, you lot, Corporal Oliver, you lot, just come see me before you head out, yeah?
Will do.
Right.
Yeah, so
How's
Captain
Oliver looking?
Oliver is not looking very good. He is pale, he is sickly. When he breathes, there's kind of like a rattling noise. Luckily, it doesn't seem like he has burns, like any of the chemical burns that are emblematic of some of the worst gas attacks, but he looks awful. Just awful. But,
I'm gonna take a stab in the dark that it is more awful from a sense of what he experienced out there than necessarily entirely due to breathing in something. I mean, he's probably got the fucked up throat, but I do look at him. I kind of like tap my throat and like look at him like with like a little nod. Well, go ahead.
He nods and he sort of like he croaks out, "I could talk a bit."
No, not needed. Pull out my little journal and the pen and just, why don't you write? save your, throats heal better when you don't use them.
He does
So,
a little salute, yeah.
Tell us about what you know, what happened. Just kind of go over it. What you saw, what happened. Just kind of give us your first-hand account, and lad, don't spare any details, even if they're strange.
He
Especially
exhales.
strange.
He exhales and he sort of swings his legs around, so he's sitting on the edge of the cot, and he takes the journal and he takes the pen and he starts writing as quickly as he can. And I'll just speak for him,
Yeah,
and he's
please
basically
do.
writing that we were sent out to investigate the cause of the gas. Second group sent out, one of the ones evacuated when it happened. Me, 2 other scouts. There was something in there. It didn't make any sense. Everything was moving. Everything was... I don't know. We were attacked. I didn't get a good look at it. But it was everywhere. It was in our heads. It was in our flesh, in our bones, in our lungs. It burned. It hurt. And he pauses here, and the pen pulls some ink onto the page, and he lifts it up and sort of blinks up at the sky a little bit. I ran. And, we didn't make it too far, but, I can lead you to where it was, where it happened.
No.
No, please. Please.
No.
He underlines it 3 times. Please. I need to see them. I need to find them.
Morose is going to take a stance of insubordination and just put a hand on Faulkner's shoulder, standing directly next to him. Not behind, directly next to him. Just shares a glance, not says a word.
I look at him and I nod. No. I kind of pull the notebook back from him. I look at Morose. You disagree with me, Lance Corporal? Explain to me then why I should bring an injured man out into a battlefield with us, into a situation where he'll be a liability. Justify it to me so I can sleep at night.
We didn't make it far in. I can just lead you to where we split off and head back. It's not far.
Morose looks like he's biting his tongue.
I'm giving you an order to speak, Lance Corporal.
I've seen many die in hospice. This, we both know, is not normal. Injured man, sure.
But Thotch. Private McKinley,
Yes, sir?
what do you think?
And Thatch turns to the man.
Sort of raises his eyebrows at Thatch, yeah.
If any shit goes awry, are you able to run? Are you able to fight if you have to?
He nods.
And he looks at Lieutenant. If he can run and he can fight, but he just can't speak, it's not that big of a liability, especially if he can work as a bit of a guide. Someone has some eyes on the inside.
McKinley?
I can't help but agree, sir. It would be for the better good, wouldn't it?
Better good.
Morose, as the two privates talk, feels himself like his shoulders, which were strong, sink, and he feels himself slowly shrink, and just Oliver, can you stand?
He sort of like he takes a pause and he stands up and he seems fairly steady on his feet.
From that corner to that corner to that corner. Go.
He
Faulkner just watches.
nods. And it's a little slow. It looks like he hasn't been walking too much over the past, however long he's been laid up, but as he walks, it gets a little more confident and a little more confident, and he sort of like, as he walks, like his face gets more and more like resolved.
Thatch kind of like, is there like a mug in the room that I can grab really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Thatch grabs a mug. And he's like, "Hey!" And he just like underhand tosses the mug as kind of like a surprise.
Yeah. Actually, give me a moment to pull something up really quick. Yeah, I'll have him roll for it. Why not? So.
I gotta say, as Oliver's resolve seems more on his face, the same with Morose.
Yeah, he catches the mug. He fumbles with it like a little bit, but it is in his hands. It doesn't fall and shatter.
His reaction time is solid.
Falconer exhales on a sigh and just looks over at Oliver and says, "Alright, boots on the ground in 10. No, 5.
He does a smart salute and
That is.
nods and goes to making sure his kit is in order.
I give Morose a flat, even look. Not a look of judgment, not a look of anger, not a look of disappointment, just a flat look of, we have now rolled the dice and made our choice, and we will live with what happens next.
Oh boy.
Morose nods.
Alright. Powwow with my boys for a moment. Sounds like we are gonna need to be prepared for anything. McKinley, you remember the field a few days ago. Be ready for more of that if you can. Thatch,
Yes.
this is your first time this close to battle, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Only stuff I've seen is either from a distance or not at all.
Can you do me a favor, boy? No, you know what? Not a favor. I'm gonna make this in order. Take a long draw from my cigarette as I mull over the wording, blow smoke out, and I look at him and I say, forget everything you think you know about the world.
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand.
You believe in God, boy?
Yes.
Heaven, hell, angels, demons, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Think that you're born, you live, you fucking you die.
Yes, sir.
Great. And everything goes according to God's plan, right?
I'm sorry, I'm a little...
Just let him speak. Respond as according.
Yes, sir.
You think everything's going along to God's plan then?
Yes, sir.
Then you need to grapple with reality for a moment and make a decision before we go out into that mist. Either A, you need to now make the decision that God is cruel, or B, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. A cruel or clueless God, you take your pick, boy. But either way, you're not going to come out of this the same.
and a kind of look that's not quite explainable kind of twists on Thatch's face. His nose kind of like scrunches up in a way that it's never done before, and his eyes kind of dart from like the bottom left corner into the bottom right. Cruel. He can be
Good answer.
Good answer.
and he just kind of goes back to his like normal resolve to just let that sink in.
Yeah. I pop my head out of the tent, by the way, and say to our captain friend, just say, "Hey, oi!"
Newkirk, who has been basically chain smoking, sort of looks up, raises hand with cigarette. Aye.
Commiseration. Cheers with our cigarettes. I say, two things. One, Oliver is coming with us. Volunteered by himself, just so you know. Second of all, is it flammable? Has anyone brought fire into it?
Come into my office. His office is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking surgical tent.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna. Don't worry about it. So, Captain Newkirk leads you into the main sort of operating theater, if you can call it that. And he sort of he kind of throws a cigarette down on the ground and crushes it under a boot. Well, it's not flammable, but I don't know if you noticed, and I'm not gonna stop you or stop him. I'm not one to deny a man his last request. Not saying that last request or anything like that, but what he's afflicted with, and exactly, they're not really chemical burns. If anything, I'd call it more of a maybe even trench fever or something like that, but it's definitely not any gas that I've seen before, which is why I sent out for those masks from the fellas in
Sure.
engineering. So
Sure. I look around the infirmary and says, "You got any heavy bandages around here?"
Well, let me see what I can spare. And he sort of digs through, and as you sort of see him going through various like crates and boxes, it looks like he's running pretty low on supply, but he comes out with probably like a sort of 3 like field aid kits, which are basically like a gauze bandage that are in waterproofed sort of pouches, and he
3 kits,
hands them
okay.
out. Yeah,
Right.
that's about all I can spare.
Make use of that. Alright, you have any flamethrowers?
He sort of raises both eyebrows. Sort of looks around. Between you and you and you and you and I, no matter what Rosenthal fucking thinks, this is not a forward command post. This is a fucking aid station. So I'm sorry,
But
no flamethrowers.
that's alright. Figure I check. Do you have ethanol? Any kind of flammable chemicals that you can spare?
I can spare maybe. Fuck. Tell you what.
Any glass bottles that burn?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the supplies, the stock. Yeah, no, I can get you some. And he sort of like goes back, he's sort of speaking aloud to himself. Don't have too much of this left, but I can distribute this. And he comes back, and he's got probably like he's mixed a few things together to have enough liquid, but he's got 2 bottles of flammable things, whether it's ethanol, rubbing alcohol,
Great.
stuff like that.
Great. I thank him. I say, all right, well, we'll get to it then. And as I'm saying that, I'm actually taking out one of the reams of gauze, and I'm like ripping it into two distinct like long bundles, and I'm stuffing them into each bottle. And I'm making
Fuck
2
me, if you
Molotov
wanted
cocktails.
if you wanted him for that, I have plenty of extra fucking uniforms. Jesus Christ. Get the fuck out of here.
I walk out and I'm gonna give both Molotovs. I'm gonna give a Molotov to Morose, obviously. And then I'm going to give anyone else skilled with ranged combat?
Yeah, I'm trained with that. And
Great. Oh, I'm
Combat.
definitely giving one to Thatch. Definitely giving one to Thatch. I pass him a Molotov cocktail and I say, you show them how spicy that gumbo can be.
Yeah, sure. Yes, sir.
All right. I assumed by now Oliver's ready to go.
Yeah, Oliver is waiting for you at sort of the I guess you would call like one of the trenches that goes forward, that intersects with the horizontal ones, that leads towards the front one. And he's waiting, and it looks like he's actually found like a slate, and he's kind of rigged it up to wear around his neck.
Hail him from a distance. I whisper over to Morose. Anything happens to him, or looks like something strange going on with him, tap the center of my forehead between my eyes with the tip of my cigarette, and point and gesture at his gun.
Right.
Same goes for any of us. If it can't be saved, spare us. Give us mercy.
That's what I do.
Alright. Let's go.
You fit the gas masks solidly around your faces. You adjust the straps. You make sure that things are sealed as much as possible. And you head down the trench. And as you go, you see what Captain Rosenthal described, the yellow haze. And for those of you who are experienced with it, there's no way, like even back at the aid station, there was wind. But this cloud is not going anywhere. It has been staying here and staying here. And as you travel into it, it becomes hazy. It becomes a little difficult to see. You can still see all right, but your vision is a little limited. And Oliver leads the way, sort of going down the trenches, and he sort of as you pass different intersection, he points out signs, different street names, as you will, as sort of a, hey, this is how you get back. And after yeah.
Hey Atwis, how can you get the fuck out of my head? How did you know I watched The Mist a few weeks ago?
Don't worry about it. Same brain cell, baby. Don't even worry about it.
Oh shit. Oh, we're fucked.
Yeah.
So you travel in, and you still hear the bombardments on the sort of outskirts of your hearing, but across from you it's quiet, very quiet. And if anything, you know that when the Bosch is quiet, nothing good is ever afoot. So Oliver leads you through the trenches and up towards, finally, you get to the front line. It's not quite any, sapping outposts, but he stops and he looks at the main signpost as it points, north and south, and he sort of turns and looks back at you all, and you can see his shoulders tighten, and he has his service rifle with him, and his fingers are white as he grasps the barrel, and he sort of jerks his head towards the south and just stops, and then sort of shakes his head a little bit, and then pauses and lets the rifle hang on its strap, and he takes the slate and just scrawls onto it. Careful, close.
Good to know.
Ready? Ready your weapons.
He nods and he once more shoulders his rifle and leads you down towards the southwards direction. And as you go, you're struck by how strange it is. Usually there's so much more happening. An empty trench is bizarre at the best of times and downright uncanny at the worst of time. And as you travel, the fog grows thicker and thicker to the point where, even despite the filters on your gas masks, you can almost smell and taste the acrid stench of it. It doesn't feel like it's affecting you, but it's enough to permeate basically everything you own. So Oliver leads you, and he gets to another intersection, and he stops, and he casts his eyes around and sort of looks towards, a sort of overhang here, a dugout here, and he just sort of like holds up a hand as to sort of say like a wait sort of thing, and just stops before he goes into a dugout and just stands in the doorway and looks into it. And
I'm gonna check our surroundings. I know we can't see far, but
sure, Rose, if you will give me an investigation roll, target number 2.
okay.
What role can I make to really just like, not like look around, but like really listen for anything that's like coming, or maybe anything that's nearby?
That would, I would also say that would be an investigation roll, so that would also be a target number 2.
Target number 2. Okay, so I'm gonna use 3 of my guts points.
All right.
To just like do 3 dice. Oh no. Okay. I can't hear shit in this mask.
I've got he's seen enough people die to know that that last semblance of hope that they might just get out. That's delusion. It's a joke that he's been playing for a long time just to have something to smile at. Well, now he's not gonna trick himself anymore. He's gonna try to keep smiling, but
No more last laughs to be had, huh, Morose?
ironic, isn't it?
Fuck, you gotta say it like that, man. That's fucked up.
Man, that hit
So-
hard.
You make your investigation of 2 successes, and as you furtively sort of scan the tops of the trenches and sort of the distance and the fog, you get this feeling, almost like a, what, you wouldn't call it a whisper, but just this insistent feeling to turn around. And you turn and you look at Corporal Oliver. And then you realize something's not right. Between the time you met him in the tent, and even between the time he led you here and he stood in the dugout area, something changed. There's something wrong with him. There's something... You're not sure
Take
what it
the
is. Okay. Sure. Roll me a brawn check. Sorry, not a brawn check. Roll me a range check, and I will ask you... You're gonna have to hit a target number of 4.
Do I get the feeling that this gas? I'm sorry to just cut in like this. Do I get the feeling that this gas is like kind of fucking with my thought, like almost like a bit of a high, I guess.
You're not sure.
Okay.
Oh, you have no points left.
No, I do. I have 1.
Reroll that entire fucking. Oh, yeah. Reroll. Try. I mean, like, yeah. You needed 4 successes. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Might as well just reroll
Rolling
that entire
5d6.
fucking pool. Yeah. You never know.
Oh man, to land a shot on him? Oh fuck.
Yep.
I would have just got behind him in Kerblawi.
Oh!
4 successes.
Oh!
Nice.
Yes! Oh, that would
That
avoid
is-
a really awkward situation.
That's fucking. Look at hold on. Look at that. That's 65156. That's a fucking palindrome right there, man. That's fucking saying backwards as it is forward. That's sexy.
Nice.
Man, I'm so glad because this would have been a really awkward situation if we all thought that you just missed shooting the guy. Like, ooh.
Like
Well.
I said, I take the shot.
You take the shot, Morose, and it lands in... He stumbles forward a little bit, but catches himself on the sort of frame of the door, the archway that leads down to the dugout. And he turns and he looks at you, and you just hear this muffled, "He's doing it again." And I'm gonna have everyone...
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, fuck me!
Oh, I hate that. We fucking walked into Hellraiser territory.
I'm gonna have... So, we are now in initiative. So the way
Homeboy's about
initiative
to make an
works...
autoerotic asphyxiate noose made of barbed wire. Oh, I hate this guy already.
So the way initiative works, for those that don't remember, is the person who wants to show the highest card value will go first. And then you choose who goes after you.
So the highest card value?
Yeah, if you want. If you want to show a card value or throw out like a, hey, I have a XYZ, you know, sure.
Okay.
I threw a card out. Should I just say it or
Yeah, no, just say it and keep it. Say it and keep it.
Jack of Hearts?
Okay.
What? Can I ask a question about a card real quick?
Sure.
Where does a Joker sit in the hierarchy?
it's wild. You can have it sit wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I'm playing that Joker.
Okay. So, I mean, take it back. For initiative, you just
Oh.
show the card.
Gotcha. So I'm playing my Joker.
Okay.
I'm
wait,
good
we
with
have to show
having
it?
McKinley step back.
No, you can just say it. It's fine.
Yeah, I just say it out. Yeah.
Well, I don't think anyone's beating a Joker, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing the Joker so I can purposefully go whenever because I want to strategize with my posse and figure out who goes first and when I can go. So everyone else should pick their cards before we read anything.
No, it's literally the only thing, the only
Oh.
one that matters is the highest one, because then you pick, and then the next person picks, and then the next person
okay,
picks.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, great,
Exactly.
cool, great. So cool, yeah.
A little
Then,
bit of popcorn.
so I take my turn now.
You would,
Oh.
yes.
Love that. Fuck.
This is why I threw out my card.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise my service pistol and just start like popping shots at the head, at the torso. Like I feel like Faulkner is reacting from the perspective of he took the shot and he's still standing, I need to take the shot too. And the like do it again hasn't really processed for him yet. So
Okay.
he's not like hesitating there. So he's just gonna shoot. I'm going to roll this with how many successes do I need?
You need 2, since Morose did 2 damage with his rifle.
Oh god, fucking do it again. Jesus Christ.
I'm going to spend my 2 last points to make both those 4s 5s. So that's 2 successes.
All right. Pistol does an additional 2 damage, and you see that Oliver, he was sort of in the middle of turning, and you caught him again square in the chest, and he sort of drops down on his knees, and he sort of looks up, and he it looks like he was reaching for a knife, but he just sort of lets the hand fall. And then with a last sort of burst of strength, he tears the gas mask off, and he looks up at all of you, and he chokes out, "Thank God they're quiet now." And he slumps face down into the mud.
Thatch immediately kneels down to like grab his body and flips him over so he's on his back instead, and closes his eyes and just kind of brings his arms in like crossed over his chest and just kind of sets him alongside the path. Maybe
Yeah.
we can try to get him on our way back.
Thatch, as you moved closer to the dugout, you kind of see into the darkness, and you see there are 2 other soldiers huddled against one of the back walls. They are bloated, and they are dead, and they are wearing British uniforms. These are likely the people that Oliver went in to the cloud with.
As Morose slowly starts approaching the dugout himself, he takes a glance down at Oliver and then a glance back to Faulkner, mirrors the gesture that he gave to Harry originally before they went in the cloud between the eyes, and then gestures down at Oliver, silently saying, "Make sure he's down."
Level my pistol at his head, and I just take a shot in the middle of it, in the center of his forehead.
Thatch turtlenecks because he's like right fucking there.
Yeah.
So McKinley is trying to process what just happened. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not the first time something crazy has happened, but he's he already knows he doesn't want to go into the dugout. He guesses what he's gonna find in there just based on context clues and what Oliver said before he kicked the bucket. So he just kind
McKinley,
of.
a good there, boy.
Yes, I just don't think I would quite get used to what the fuck is happening.
Unfortunately, you will. And I
Fletch.
make your way in.
Actually, wait, into the dugout.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I say Thatch, but then I actually stop him. I put a hand on. I put a hand out to stop you for a second, Morose, and I say, "Take a look, then burn it. Torch the dugout. Bodies included.
Yes, sir.
No one should have to see them like that."
Yes, sir.
You make your way into the dugout, and sort of, it feels like the edges of your vision, it's almost like the shadows seem to be swimming, but nothing rises. The corpses stay corpses. There's a table here, and it looks like people were in the middle of a game of scat before whatever happened here happened. People had to either die or evacuate. There is a molding over cup of tea that's sort of on the table. It is empty, and it is quiet.
Is there anything living in here?
No.
I want to investigate the bodies.
Okay, roll me an investigation check, and I'll say, I'll give it a target number of 1.
Nice. Right. That should give me one more just in case. Boom.
Hey.
Nice.
You, as you know, as you two start making ready to burn everything in here, you sort of poke around in sort of accoutrement, the sort of little bits and pieces of trench life, and you don't really find all too much in terms of information amongst the pieces here. You know, there are some letters scattered about. Somebody has pinned a picture of a woman up to a wall. She's fairly ordinary looking, but she's beautiful in her own way. Someone's wife or sister or girlfriend. And you look over the bodies, who are putrefying and bloated and very dead. And then you look closer. And under the skin, there's a writhing, almost.
No, there's
I'll
not.
take another shot.
Yes, there is. You take
No,
a
there's-
shot. You take a shot.
Actually,
No?
no, I don't. Burn
I'm
them.
gonna have to elaborate that for all the people who can't see you.
The
Yeah.
camera, yeah. For those of you
Light.
watching at home in this audio medium,
Second-
pantomime lighting a
Shut the
Molotov.
fuck up. The second he sees any form of writhing, he stiffens. He quiets himself. Takes a slow step back, lights his Molotov, and casts it on the bodies.
I'm not gonna have you make a roll on this. They're lying there. So you light one of the two Molotovs that the unit has, and you cast it onto the bodies, and the sort of fire, it licks up the sides of them, it sort of burns away, and it seems like their uniforms are already rotting off, and the skin splits, and there are just grave worms and beetles and maggots that writhe out from within the muscle and skin, and they contort and twist as they burn up and immolate. They are very, very dead. And now the dugout is ablaze, and you are left with the heat on your face. A dead man behind you, and 2 dead men in front of you. And I think that we're actually at time, aren't we?
Yeah.
So
Hey,
with that,
Atlas.
mm,
Hey, hey, Atlas.
mm,
Fuck you.
love you too, babe.
Gosh,
Oh
that's
my gosh.
nasty.
That's
So-
disgusting. That's fucking gross.
We
Bruh,
are going. Sorry, God, Gar-
Disgusting.
I typed it out before you said it. I'm like, maggots, maggots.
Maggots?
Yeah, maggots. Bees.
Bees.
Bees?
All right.
Beetles?
So as we struggle to find a little bit of levity in that situation, we are going to take a brief pause so we can all gather our breath, get some water. In the meantime, we will be back in like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Throw out some questions if you would like, and we will answer them as best we can. So see you in a bit.